Yo, what's up guys, Walker here, and today I'm going to be making you guys the ultimate legendary weapon tier list for Deepwoken, but I'm also going to be ranking some weapons that aren't fully considered legendaries, like Cerulean Knife and Petra Anchor and etc. Just because that I think they're, like, in some cases, same tier in power as legendary weapons. And the only thing I ask you guys before we start getting into the tier list is to enjoy the video. Let's get right into it. Alright, starting off with Crit Blade. Now, in my opinion, Crit Blade used to be one of the best legendary weapons in the game, but ever since Shadow has got nerfed, and so did the Crit Blade, I think it's fallen off quite a bit. I was gonna put it S tier, but ever since the nerfs, like, even just lowering the range of the crit has really, like, gutted it in a way, because it used to have this massive AoE where it would, like, always hit, but now it's, like, it's kind of small, especially for a legendary weapon of its rarity. You would expect something more. I'm honestly going to put it in B tier, because ever since Shadow got nerfed and that too, it's honestly just not that good of a legendary weapon. Next up, we got the Ignition Deep Crusher. Now, kind of similarly to Crit Blade, it used to be really broken. Iron Sing, upon release, was incredibly strong. I remember staying up until like 2 AM, just running layer 2s over and over and over and over again, just trying to get one of these legendary weapons, because it was so good. The Ignition Deep Crusher was very nasty. Iron Sing did a lot of damage, and the rods... It applies rods each M1 in the hammer form, and in the blade form, it does bleed damage each M1. But, like, I don't know why you would use the blade form, because if you want to have more bleed damage on M1, you just use Razor Cutlass. But, honestly, it has really high requirements. If you don't know, it's 75 Iron Sing, and for medium, it is 60 medium, which is kind of absurd. You know, think about Crit Blade, it's like 25 heavy for Crit Blade. So honestly, I'm going to be putting Ignition Deep Crusher in C tier. At that point, just to run like Champion Sword or something, it just takes too much points, okay? We got Flare Blood Commas. Now, in my opinion, Flare Blood Commas are pretty mid. Honestly, the damage is kind of lackluster, and the crit is like, for dagger crits, it's not that good. You think having a ranged crit would be kind of fire, but it's really only good if you're Silent Heart, and that's like a specific build. So honestly, I'm also going to be putting this in C tier in front of Ignition Deep Crusher, just because the weapons also have end lag, and they also have a intelligence requirement, which might like turn people away from it. Next up, we got Grand Sudaruska. Now, Grand Sudaruska, I still think is one of, if not the best legendary weapon in the game, okay? I honestly think it's better than that, like, green Yisley's Pyre Keeper thingy. And to be fair, the crit on this weapon is so buggy. It's so buggy that it's good, okay? Every time you land a crit, it also brings them into the air, which helps you proc things like Wyvern's Claw, and like, even if you have Meteor Slam, if you're running like a hybrid build. And honestly, there's also a tech where you can like turn around and then turn back to face your opponent to guard break them and bait out their parry. Honestly, this weapon is really good, but I think it's just lacking, because you also need talents to run this, okay? You also need crystallization talents too. So I'm gonna be putting it in A tier. If it was just straight busted, I would put it S tier, but you do need some talents to make it really good, so yeah. I know you guys probably either love or you hate this one. It's the Yisley's Pyre Keeper, and you know where this one's going, okay? What, 5 crits, bro? It's going into S tier instantly. Let me tell you why. As a standing crit, as an aerial crit, crouching, running, and sliding crit, bro. This weapon has so much versatility for literally every single scenario, bro. And each M1 does fire onto your opponent. And with that, you can honestly heal off every single M1 if you have a Flame Wisp. It's basically like knockoff Vampirism. So obviously this is going into S tier. It's probably going to stay near the top of S tier, and yeah. Alright, next up, we got the Imperial Bow Staff. In my opinion, I think this weapon is really good. I think it's kind of like the Grand Ruska with the aerial crits, but it also has more like poking abilities with like the standing crit and also the running crit. So honestly, also the requirements are really good. Okay, let me get that off too. 40 medium and 40 strength, I think. But like 40 medium, you're going to be running either Champion Sword with an enchant, or you can get Imperial Bow Staff with like 3 crits, which is really powerful. Honestly, I think this one is also going into S tier, just has so much versatility, and you can always just cycle through the crits, do it whichever you want. And yeah, next up we got LFT. Now LFT, ever since they added that lights requirements, bro, it has never been the same. LFT used to be so busted, bro, and honestly, ever since they still buffed it a little bit, I think they lowered the light requirement just by a bit, and the scaling too. But honestly, I don't think that's ever gonna bring back LFT from what it used to be, and I'm gonna have to put it into B tier. Cause honestly, what made it so powerful was you could go a billion like willpower, bro, and still do some decent M1 damage while having some really good M1 animations, like M1 swing animations. But ever since you have to run light now, it kind of ruins the fact that you were able to stack so many broken talents with this weapon. But yeah, B tier is still okay, I guess. Alright, with our first Hero Blade, we got the Flame Hero Blade. Now, in my opinion, I am not a big fan of this Hero Blade crit, just because like I don't think it doesn't do that much posture damage, and to bring people into the air, it's like you already have so many options. Like you have Rising Flame, you have Flame Leap. Like you don't need a crit that brings them into the air, and the crit doesn't even apply like its status effect. It doesn't even burn them, which is kind of interesting considering it's a Flame Hero Blade. So I'm also going to be putting this one into B tier. It's not as good anymore, and you only really see it on mage builds. Next up, we got the Ice Hero Blade crit. Now, this crit was, bro, it used to be so good. It used to not even cancel if you got parried, and oh my god. Tell me, okay, comment down below. Tell me if you guys remember this. When you were able, the epidemic of arc suits, Ice Hero Blade users who move stack Ice Smash with the Ice Hero Blade crit. Comment if you have PTSD. I have PTSD, but I shouldn't be talking because I actually also had one of those builds. Okay, it was really broken, and I think I got like top 50 on it. So yeah, honestly, this is kind of worse than the Flame Hero Blade one though right now. So I'm going to be putting it behind Flame Hero Blade in B, but it used to be S tier. Just remember that. Alright, we got the Lightning Hero Blade. Okay, now I think this one is going in front of Flame Hero Blade and Ice Hero Blade. Just because the crit has more range. You can honestly, like, you don't have to have the opponent right next to you to use it. It's a good gap closer. It ragdolls too. And honestly, I think it's done. I think it like does the little electrify effect too. It's pretty good. Honestly, you can like stack it with what's that one thing? Grand Javelin. Yeah, you can stack it with Grand Javelin. It's pretty good. And yeah, I'm gonna put it above Flame Hero Blade. Yeah, but the only reason it's not like A is because it doesn't guard break. So yeah. Next up, we got the Shadow Hero Blade. Now, Shadow Hero Blade used to be goated, used to be the best thing. You know, everyone would use it. You know, it was the Cladrip Hero Blade. He popularized it. But ever since Shadow just got nerfed so hard, this weapon has never been the same. It's kind of like a similar case to LFT, but some might think it's worse. Like some might think it's better, but honestly, I think it's garbage just because of the element as a whole. Okay, Rising Shadow used to do some crazy Rising Shadow like combo into the crit, do some fat damage, but now that you can cancel like ragdoll cancel in Rising Shadow, it will never be the same. Honestly, I'm gonna put this under all the Hero Blades. Okay, it's not good. Okay, now we got the best Hero Blade in my opinion. Okay, we got that Gale Hero Blade. Okay, the Gale Hero Blade. You know what I'm saying? The curved alternative lets you get more points. Still a really good crit, by the way. I know the crit doesn't guard break anymore, but it does do heavy posture damage, which is really important because, especially for Gale, Gale doesn't really have that many guard break utility type of moves, you know. Even like Champion's World Throw is really slow, and having that crit that does very heavy posture damage is really helpful, especially for Gale as an attunement for it to flourish, you know. You could also like dash cast the crit, which makes it like unparryable basically. And honestly, because of that, I'm going to be putting it into A tier. Because with the Gale sliding tech and the crit, it just makes it like unstoppable. Now, don't get mad at me for this. We're on Curved Blade of Winds, okay? But in my opinion, I think the Curved Blade of Winds is going into S tier, okay? Some people might think it's garbage just because both the crits don't even like guard break or anything. But it's so powerful because all you need, it's 25 medium, okay? And then like 75 Gale. And your swing speed, bro, you get like 0.78 swing speed, I think. And honestly, and chip damage and pen, bro. And the crit's not guard breaking. I mean, it's kind of like a turnoff, but the thing is that they also suffocate. So your opponent can't use any mantras. It helps you, but in different ways, okay? If you're able to play around not having a crit that guard breaks or does like high posture damage, I think you can do really well with Curved Blade of Winds, and I'm going to be putting it into S tier because of this. Next up, we got, I don't even want to say its name, bro. We got the Storm Side, guys. Come on, bro. Just, what happened to this weapon, bro? It used to be the best legendary weapon in the game. Not even a hitch, bro. Like, this was so broken, bro. The crits even used to, okay, this is like OG, but the crit used to go through your block, bro, because it would pause, it would hit you from the back, bro. Okay, even if you were blocking, it would still somehow damage you. But ever since they removed bullets, this weapon has never been the same, bro. I kind of wish I saw a Storm Zion Chime, bro, but I've never seen them. They're like an extinct species, bro. Honestly, Storm Zion, you are going into C tier. You are under the Hero Blades, bro. You are garbage, okay? If you're going Storm's Eye, bro, you gotta reevaluate your life choices, dude, okay? Maybe just go Thunder Hero Blade. Alright, next up, we got the Cerulean Knife. Cerulean Knife. Okay, this weapon used to be shit. Now it's actually like best dagger in the game, bro. That crit literally gives you a mantra for free. And it buffs your M1s. Now, what I'm saying, it buffs your M1s. It puts Storm Enchant on all of your M1s. And you can proc Lightning Talents with M1s. And you may think, well, Lightning Talents, they're not that good, bro. Bro, think of all the damage stacking you can do if you have Storm on your M1s. And plus, it doesn't even take away your previous enchant. You can run 2 enchants, pop the crit. Now your M1s have Storm Enchant. You can also have another enchant. Boom. Now your M1s also have obfuscation or something. Like, bro, you're going to be speeding across the map. Your second crit also, it's a lightning assault. So no one's ever catching up to you. And you can catch anyone. This weapon is going into bottom of S tier, honestly. Now, honestly, I think Railblade, it used to be the top of like best legendary heavy weapons. I think it was the best legendary heavy weapon. But ever since it got its hyper armor removed, I think it's never going to be the same, honestly. It used to do fat damage, used to have good hyper armor too. Like, it was uncancelable, okay? Lit your opponents on fire. But that's what was so special about it. That's what made it a legendary weapon. And taking away the hyper armor, it's just honestly not that good in comparison of other things. It's like a toned down Petra Anchor, sort of. So honestly, this is going to be the only legendary weapon, in my opinion. I'm going to be putting this one in D tier. It is the bottom of the barrel. I know you can enchant it now, but the enchants aren't going to bring back the hyper armor, okay? It's never going to be the same. Alright, boom. We got a good competitor to the Cerulean Knife, okay? We got the Cerulean Thread. Now, this weapon, it has 2 crits, similarly to like all the other meta legendary weapons. But these, you have to actually land the first crit to use the second crit. Now, the crits do pretty good damage, and they stun for a pretty good amount of time. But it's just the fact that you have to land a crit previously to even use the second higher damaging crit. It's kind of like a turn away for this weapon, and honestly, I would just put it A tier. It is pretty good stats though, you know, pretty good swing speed, but it is lacking with that crit, okay? Alright guys, don't get mad at me, but I just wanted to add some extra weapons, okay? Petra's Anchor, I know some of you might not consider it a legendary weapon, but it has a unique crit, okay? Petra's Anchor, I think, is honestly a really powerful heavy weapon, okay? I think at least top of B tier. Its crit is really strong and does fat damage, and especially for heavy. Heavy usually doesn't have that many gap closers. If you're running a heavy build, you're usually fat and slow, okay? But this crit, like, negates both of those things, dude. Okay, that it launches you forward into, like, a guard-breaking, like, uppercut thingy. But honestly, and it's also enchantable too, so honestly, I'm gonna have to put it into A tier. It's a pretty good weapon. Don't hate on me for this. I think it's still meta, even though people say heavy's not meta, blah, 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 blah. I think it's still pretty good. Next up, we got Pale Brier. I don't even know why I included this weapon. I'm gonna be real, I just wanted to add another heavy weapon, but it is honestly really shit, okay? The crit doesn't even guard break. It just does like, these, like, it rains down light, which is kind of cool, but it doesn't even do that much damage either way. You can kind of walk out of it. And the thing is, the only thing that really makes this weapon good is that it has pretty good stats on it. Like, pretty good swing speed. I think it might have, like, some good pen too. But honestly, I think it is worse than the Stoneheart just because it doesn't even bring... It brings something unique, but that unique thing doesn't even do that good, okay? It's not that strong. It's, like, really situational. Honestly, it's going to go below Stoneheart, but yeah. Alright, next we got the Stoneheart. Now, take everything I said about Petra's Anchor and just... Okay, don't take it all the way, but just cut it in half. Okay, Stoneheart is okay, I guess. Because, like, the crit, it does fat damage. It is unblockable. If you have Contractor, now we're talking, okay? Now we're talking. Now we got a W build. Because now you can land that crit guaranteed with that little Contractor equalizer. But honestly, without that, the weapon is pretty mid. Honestly, if you have Contractor, I'll put it at top of B tier. But if you don't have Contractor, I'm sorry, it's gonna have to go into C tier. This weapon is really hard to use without a certain build revolving around it, and yeah. Alright, that's it for the ultimate legendary weapon tier list. Hope you all enjoyed, and comment down below if you guys want a part 2. I know I couldn't fit all of the weapons, like all of the unique crit weapons. I did most of the legendaries, but I didn't want this video to be like 10 decades long, okay? Trust me. I know it might... I don't want it to feel like a slog, but tell me if you guys want it, like a part 2, because maybe I can do some when... Like, maybe new legendary weapons will come out and I'll do a part 2, or like maybe I'll just do the remaining ones that are in the game. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.